The sun shines brightly over the grand palace, yet my heart trembles with uncertainty. Is this beautiful place my gilded cage? He takes my hand so gently, whispering that I am beautiful today. I feel vulnerable and my breath hitches in silence. His intense gaze pierces through me as he vows to protect my life forever. I am terrified of this overwhelming, dark devotion. Walking toward him felt like a dream. Even though he smiles, I wonder if I can truly survive this cold, royal destiny. The crown weighs heavy on his head. He promises to make me his empress, but his eyes look so lonely and distant. My tears burned as the reality hit me. Am I ready to lose my freedom for the sake of his desperate love? My heart raced as I stared at him, unable to breathe. Why does he look at me with such overwhelming, painful longing? The cold metal of the ring touched my skin. I felt helplessness as he claimed me, binding our fates together forever. I felt vulnerable in his strong arms, surrounded by falling petals. He whispered that I would never be alone again. This silent hall feels so suffocating. I am terrified of the secrets hidden within these walls and the crown I wear. The decree was clear, sealing my new life. I felt trapped by the heavy words that changed everything I once knew. Every step toward the throne felt like walking to my execution. The silent knights watched me with cold, judging eyes. The heavy chains bit into my wrists, a cruel reminder of my new reality. I felt helpless and completely trapped. My heart raced with pure terror as I looked up at him. Why must I suffer this agonizing, endless nightmare? His voice was like ice, commanding me to submit. I felt so vulnerable under his cold and unyielding royal authority. I collapsed onto the floor, trembling with fear. He demanded my absolute obedience, leaving my shattered soul with no hope. I cried out in shock as his cold hands gripped me. My heart raced and I felt utterly helpless and vulnerable. They dragged me away into the darkness. Tears burned in my eyes as I realized there was no escape from him. He watched my suffering with such indifference. I was terrified of the monster hiding behind his beautiful, royal, and calm face. A scream tore from my throat as my world collapsed. I felt so terrified, lost in this endless and cruel nightmare. Everything went dark as the end approached. My heart was shattered, and I felt so alone in this chilling silence. I stared at the screen, my heart heavy with longing. Why does this story feel so much like my own life? The whispers from the web reached my soul. I felt so vulnerable as the light pulled me into a deep abyss. My breath hitched in terror as the blinding glare consumed me. I felt helpless while the reality around me slowly dissolved. I woke up in a nightmare surrounded by ruins. My heart raced and I was terrified to see my bloodied hands. Trapped inside this wooden cage, I screamed for help. Tears burned my cheeks as I realized my peaceful life was gone. I looked up at the sharp steel, my heart racing with pure terror. Is this how my story ends today? The crowd roared for my blood while I felt so vulnerable and helpless. My tears burned as I faced death. He told me to stay still, but I was terrified. I could not breathe as the cold shadow consumed me. With one simple gesture, he decided my fate. I felt utterly betrayed by the man who once promised me protection. He whispered a cold farewell, and I felt my soul shatter. I am terrified of the darkness waiting for me. I woke up screaming as the memory of the blade haunted me. My heart raced, and I felt so helpless. The image of my death burned in my mind. I am terrified that this nightmare might actually be my fate. I looked around this strange room, trembling with fear. I felt vulnerable, lost in a world that is not mine. My hands are shaking as I realize I survived. Is this a second chance or just another cruel royal game? I stood up, staring at the palace walls. My heart hitches because I know the tragedy that awaits us all. Am I back here again? My heart raced as I realized the nightmare had restarted, and I felt utterly helpless. The rules of this world are cruel. I felt vulnerable, staring at the book that decides my fate and future. I must survive this time. Tears burned as I held the heavy crown, terrified of the responsibility I now carry. His face haunted me. I felt terrified, knowing our fates are tied together by these invisible, cold, and painful strings. The game has officially begun. I am terrified because my life depends on choosing the right path in this darkness. My soul felt shredded by the cruelty of this world. I am terrified that the blood on his hands is mine. The silence of this room is suffocating. I felt so vulnerable, realizing that I am truly alone in this golden cage. Tears burned my eyes as I hid in the dark. My heart raced, knowing that tomorrow the nightmare begins all over. I must play my part perfectly to survive. I felt so helpless, dancing with shadows that want to destroy my life. I have 15 days to change my fate. I am terrified, but I will not let him kill me this time. My vision blurred as blood stained the world red. I am terrified that no matter what I do, death follows me. I realized the truth about this cursed game. My heart raced, feeling vulnerable because every choice I make could be fatal. He looks so innocent with that flower, but I felt terrified. Is this sweetness just a mask for his true dark nature? This vast room feels like a tomb. I felt so helpless and alone, wondering who among them will eventually betray me. The scent of blood is everywhere now. Tears burned as I looked at my reflection, terrified of what I must become. So there is only one way left for me. I felt helpless and alone, but my heart raced with sudden determination. If this is going to happen, I think it would be better for me to become king. I am truly terrified. A new quest has been officially received. My heart raced and tears burned as I accepted this dangerous and dark challenge. The path ahead is covered in shadows. I felt vulnerable, yet I must fight to survive this cruel and royal game. A new route appeared out of nowhere. My heart raced, wondering if this is my only chance to finally escape death. I am now the fourth founder. I felt vulnerable yet empowered by this strange light, realizing my fate has truly changed. If I cannot find a king, I must become one myself. I am terrified of the dark path lying ahead of me. Can I really rule this empire? My heart hitches in silence as I weigh the heavy burden of my new royal ambition. The main quest is accepted. Tears burned as I felt the ancient power awaken within me, preparing me for the coming war. Activating the Queen's core seems impossible right now. My heart raced as I realized how much I still have to learn. I must attend that ball at any cost. I felt vulnerable, knowing my young age makes every step so much harder. A sudden quest appeared with a terrifying deadline. I felt helpless as the clock began ticking toward my uncertain future destiny. Only 1 week to prepare? My heart hitches in pure panic because I am terrified of failing this crucial first mission. The ball is in 7 days. Tears burned in my eyes while I wondered how I could possibly survive this madness. It is happening today, isn't it? My heart raced as I prepared to face the world that once destroyed me. This is wrong, but I will make it right. I felt empowered, knowing that my previous deaths were not in vain. I remember the etiquette after countless restarts. I am terrified, but I must act with perfect grace to survive today.
Attending the ball and becoming king are both possible. I felt so vulnerable, yet determined to reach my goal now. If I manage this, I might save myself. My heart hitches thinking of the person I will finally become tonight.
I stared at my reflection, trying to find a queen in the eyes of a child. My heart raced, knowing that every move from now on is a dance with death. A sudden sound startled me. I felt so vulnerable, wondering who could be visiting me at this early hour in such a dangerous palace. "Our beloved daughter, did you sleep well?" His voice was so warm. Tears burned in my eyes as I looked at the man who truly loved me. "Dad!" I whispered his name, and my heart hitches. In my past life, I couldn't protect him, but this time, everything will be different. I felt a wave of relief washing over me. I am terrified of the future, but having him by my side gives me the strength to fight for my life. "My father is Duke Holstein, the king's brother and a powerful Duke of Adalelo." I felt a wave of warmth in his arms, remembering how much he sacrificed for our family. The legend of Duke Holstein's love is famous throughout the entire continent. I felt so vulnerable looking at his kind face, knowing the tragedies that once haunted his heart. As the king's younger brother, he rejected countless marriage proposals from the nobility. My heart raced, thinking of how he chose a different, much more difficult path for love. He fell in love with a woman 6 years his senior and married her the moment he turned 18. Tears burned as I imagined their beautiful wedding ceremony among these flowers. Not long after their marriage, they welcomed the fruit of their deep love. I am terrified to lose this precious bond, for I am that child born from such a pure heart. But his beloved wife was unable to overcome postpartum fever and took her last breath. I felt a cold shiver, imagining the immense pain he must have felt in that silent room. Left alone with the baby his wife had left behind, Duke Holstein was only 20 years old. My heart ached for the young man who had to face the world without his soulmate. In despair, the king urged his devastated younger brother to remarry. I felt so vulnerable, realizing how much pressure he was under to move on from his grief. But he chose to live on, raising his cherished daughter all by himself. Tears burned in my eyes, knowing that I am the center of his entire universe. He gave me everything he had. I am terrified of what the future holds, but I promise to protect the man who sacrificed so much for me. I felt a wave of warmth seeing his smile again. My heart raced because in this game, from the very first meeting with him, our affinity was already at the maximum level. It was thanks to him that I experienced such beautiful moments in this relentless world. I felt so vulnerable, realizing I've never known this kind of pure love in my real life. This is already the 4th time I've witnessed his death in different timelines. Tears burned as I looked at his kind face, terrified that I might lose him once more. "Let's get ready quickly," he said. "Today is the day we meet with Faral." My heart hitches, knowing that the real battle for our survival begins right now. I laughed, feeling so light for the first time. My heart raced, but not with fear. This time it was with the simple joy of being cherished. I will definitely save her this time. Tears burned behind my eyelids as I promised myself that this 4th life would be the one where I change everything. The palace stood tall and indifferent to my struggle. I felt so vulnerable looking at its golden towers, knowing the secrets and traps hidden within those cold stone walls. "It seems like our little princess is as lovely as today as well," he said. My heart hitches because I know this man. King Farrell is one of the most dangerous players in this royal game. Based on the experience of multiple regressions, I knew it was better to present a more dignified appearance. My heart raced, but I refused to show any weakness before the king. "You look really beautiful. You've become a fine young lady," the king said. I felt so vulnerable under his gaze, remembering I am already 7 years old in this life. I stood tall, wrapped in the elegance of my station. I am terrified of the future, yet I must play the part of the perfect princess to survive. He suddenly picked me up, laughing at how much I had grown. My heart hitches in surprise, feeling the weight of his unexpected affection. "You have gotten quite heavy," he chuckled. Tears burned as I jokingly reminded him that saying such a thing to a lady is going too far. King Rodrigo is like a second father to me. My heart raced as I looked into his eyes, realizing that his affection is a powerful weapon I must learn to use. "I am your only niece. Surely you wouldn't get angry with me," I said. I felt so vulnerable, yet I knew exactly how to make him smile. My favorability with the king just hit 100 points. My heart hitches, realizing that being bold was the right choice to secure my position. Finally, my first passive skill has awakened. Tears burned as I felt the system rewarding my efforts, giving me a real chance to fight back. With the king's protection skill, I can go anywhere in the palace. I am terrified of what I might find, but I must use this freedom to change my fate. One of the most notable examples is King's Protection. Once this skill is practiced, there is nothing that can stop the caster within the palace. I felt a surge of confidence, knowing the system is finally on my side. Should I say I really know him? I thought. My heart raced as I watched the king ignore all royal protocol just to play with me like a regular uncle. The first step is successful. Next is Queen's Core. To obtain it, I'll need to make excuses to stay in the palace as much as possible. I am terrified of the risks, but I must push forward. "Since it's been a while, how about staying in the palace for a few days?" the king suggested. I felt so vulnerable waiting for my father's answer, praying he would agree to this perfect opportunity. "Why, of course, brother for all." My heart hitches with joy as the deal is struck. The palace is now my playground, and the path to the throne is finally open before me. "The state affairs have become too burdensome," the king admitted. My heart raced, realizing that even the most powerful man in the empire feels the weight of the crown. "Now, don't be so formal. I am your brother," Ferl said softly. I felt a wave of warmth, seeing the strong bond that still connects these two powerful men. "It seems like you have many children, so I'll go count the others," I cried out in surprise. My heart hitches as I try to maintain my composure despite the sudden chaos. "Wait," I shouted, but he just laughed. I am terrified of looking undignified, yet I cannot help but feel a strange sense of freedom in this moment. The golden doors opened before us, leading to a future I never dared to imagine. Tears burned as I realized that the real game for the throne has finally begun. I entered the guest room, my eyes sweeping over the lavish red curtains and golden decor. Even with the king's favor, I knew the palace was a labyrinth of hidden eyes. Active skill list, Queen's Care, Level 1. In case of unexpected situations, the Queen will provide an excuse on my behalf. The conditions are strict, usable once a week within 100 meters of her, but it is a lifeline I cannot ignore. Active skills are far more powerful than passive ones. I must acquire this power, even if it isn't part of a formal quest. My heart hitches, knowing how much depends on this single move. "Here comes Lady Astolat of House Hallstein," the maid announced. I took a breath, shedding the skin of a child and stepping into the role of a player in a game that has already cost me everything. My stats are overwhelming. To any observer, I look like a prodigy, but the truth is hidden behind these glowing numbers. I haven't received proper training in this life, yet I carry the wisdom of multiple lifetimes. I felt a wave of confidence, knowing that my every move is calculated for maximum impact. I, Lady Astolat of House Hallstein, greet Queen Rosetta. My heart hitches as I perform the perfect bow, meeting the gaze of the woman who holds so much power over my future.
I am terrified of making a single mistake, but my body moves with a grace that defies my years. Tears burned, thinking of how many times I had to die to master this elegance.
With my current level of palace etiquette, even greetings that would be considered impossible are achievable. My heart raced, knowing that my extensive knowledge is the only thing keeping me ahead of this dangerous game. To increase the queen's favorability, it's crucial to display a ladylike demeanor above all else. I felt so vulnerable, yet I must maintain this perfect facade to secure my place in her heart. There she was, Queen Rosetta, radiating a power that felt both cold and familiar. Tears burned behind my eyes, remembering how she has been a mother figure to me ever since my own mother passed away. A poised greeting indeed. "Come here," the queen said. My heart hitches as I take the first step toward her, knowing that I am terrified, but I cannot afford to fail this audience. My ladylike demeanor increased Queen Rosetta's favorability by 1. It's now at 51 out of 100, but I felt a wave of anxiety seeing how slowly the needle moves compared to my father or the king. Only 1? I need to raise her favorability by 9 more points to reach Queen's care. I am terrified that at this rate, my goal will remain just out of reach. At this rate, I won't be able to attend the ball. Every second counts, and the pressure is making my heart race as I search for a way to break through her icy composure. "You've grown so much, I'll get you a new dress," the queen said. I felt so vulnerable under her touch, but then a realization hit me like a bolt of lightning. This is the chance. Tears burned with a mix of relief and excitement as I prepared to turn this simple gesture into a decisive victory. My eyes burned with a clear purpose. To win this round, I had to offer something more than just gratitude. I had to show her my soul. I want to inherit the dress that Sister Floria used to wear. My heart raced as the words left my lips, knowing how much this request would surprise her. "You want to inherit the dress?" the queen asked, her voice tinged with disbelief. I felt so vulnerable under her piercing gaze, waiting for the moment my trap would spring. "Yes, and remember, all of the things were paid for by the sweat and toil of the commoners." My heart hitches, but I stand my ground, using their own values to prove I am a queen in the making. I am terrified that she might see through my act, but the look in her eyes tells me I've won. This is my path to the throne, paved with the words they want to hear. The queen's expression shifted instantly. I felt a cold shiver down my spine as her eyes narrowed, piercing through my facade of innocence. "Your tactless request has caused Queen Rosetta's favorability to drop by 6. It's down to 45 now." My heart hitches. I miscalculated her pride, and now the very ground I stood on is crumbling.